I'm gonna make this video as fast as possible. Not because I want to get it over with, but because my dog got sterilized recently and that has caused problems. So I pretty much need to watch her 24/7. Now she fell asleep and I'm taking this chance to record something. So, project cancelled. Yes. If you have been on the Discord, you already know. But let me make a video to get all my thoughts out there. First off, I really dislike that I'm doing this. Mainly because I know the memes of people starting and abandoning projects, creating a graveyard of unfinished creative work. I thought myself to be above that since I stuck to a 4-year project. And now I am here, making a video on how I'm quitting the very next project. The reason why I decided to quit is quite simple. Scope. I wanted to make a boss rush game. Simply fight after fight with maybe a few scenes introducing mechanics beforehand. So one step above Fury that had just walk and talk sections. And yes, I am aware that I'm basically just making Fury again. That fact is pretty much the biggest motivator to me quitting. If you played Fury, then you know that its fights are balanced and polished to near perfection. Every animation, every attack, every speed of every projectile and movement is finely tuned to make the best possible experience. Combine that with incredibly tight mechanics and controls, set to the backdrop of an amazing soundtrack, and you have a game that can be replayed to death. I tried to match that level of polish in just 2 months. Hubris, I know. But of course, I wanted to give myself some breathing room by cutting down on some things. The issue starts with me cutting more and more from the project to hit my deadlines, that it eventually becomes something I don't want to make. I know the old advice of making a bunch of smaller games. Sadly, not everything can be made into a smaller game. If I were to give this game the level of polish and quality that I think is needed to make it worthwhile, I would need 2 months for one fight, and I would probably just barely make it. I wanted to make a whole game in 2 months, remember. Making things half-assed also hit a massive damper on my motivation. You might have heard that my life didn't go easy on me this past month when I was making this, but back in the day of Iridescent's development, I got a lot more done with way harsher conditions, purely because I was motivated by the end product. And if you know anything about that, you know I was doom posting 24/7 about how it sucked, so imagine how bad it is now that I'm actually quitting this time. I could extend the deadline to something normal, but that feels like throwing in the towel. I already have a bad taste in my mouth from this project, so I decided to save the code and maybe come back some other day. Yes, I have become the abandoned project meme. Yes, I do hate it. If I had to hypothesize a reason for why we got here, it's because I just rushed to start making something again. I know, I told the story a million times and I will tell it again. After 4 years of non-stop development, I wanted a break. Then I finished a 40 game backlog as fast as possible, and then I really wanted to develop again and pick the best thing I thought I could make quickly. But that's not the point of making games, at least not for me. I want to keep myself to a higher standard of quality, sure, but I also want to make stuff that I'm passionate about. I can tell you, if someone else made Iridescent exactly as it is today, I would probably love it. I want to make games that make me feel like that. To not rush blindly into a new project, I'm going to mess around and experiment. No promises about the video next week, next month, or hell if I really start going in circles this year. I want to also be healthier with the way I develop. My normal approach is that I use every moment of my free time I have on development, which isn't good for my mental at all. I want to try to get some gaming time in, as well as focus on some other hobbies maybe. I recently drew some things on paper, and I forgot that it was a hobby of mine back in high school. Maybe I'll get back into it again. When I get going on the project, I'll let you guys know. For the people that are interested, everything I made for the boss rush game is currently playable on itch. I pinned the link to that in the comments. The feedback was average, so go into it with similar expectations. That's about it. If you want to be more up to date, then I overshare a lot in the Discord. If not, then I'll see you guys next video.